everything started a little bit more than 5 years ago. I saw a picture of Lauren on Instagram and I was just head over heels right off the bat.
Stockton came over to my house one day and he said, "Do you know this girl?" And he showed me this picture of Lauren Thompson on Instagram, and he was obsessed and he needed to meet her.
Just thinking about it, brainstorming, trying to figure out how I could meet her. And I basically just said like, "Hey, I think you're really pretty. I'd love to get to know you." I've never done anything like that before. I've never done anything like that since. And she did not respond to that message.
I just kind of ignored it. I don't know for how long, and then...
For like 5 years. That's how long.
He would follow me on Instagram, and then he would unfollow me because I wouldn't follow him back. And then he would follow me again, and then he would unfollow me.
I went to the Alta Dance Company concert for my cousins. While we were there, I remember when I walked out, I had never seen Lauren in person before, but I saw her standing there. I just remember looking at her and I knew exactly who she was instantly.
And all of a sudden, I hear Stockton start to freak out. He's like, "Lauren is here." So I start to walk over to talk to her, and I turn around and Stockton's gone.
And I ran off into the bathroom, kind of hyperventilating.
You went to the bathroom.
Yes, I hid in the bathroom. I didn't actually go to the bathroom.
I walk in there and Stockton is still freaking out. He's like, "Oh, I can't do it, I can't talk to her." So after a few minutes, I convince him to walk back out and try to talk to her, but she was gone. Stockton just looked devastated.
I felt like I'd done a disservice like to God or something. I was like, I'm never gonna be blessed with another opportunity. And I don't deserve another opportunity.
Don't put that in the video,
Yes.
please.
My understanding of it while I was in the bathroom was that McKay actually talked to Lauren.
So I took matters into my own hands and I asked her if her name was Lauren Thompson, and she said yes, and I said, "Well, hi." And that was it, and I left.
Okay, so fast forward. It's been almost a year now. At the time, I was doing student government at Hillcrest, and we were there before school, and there was a training going on for this program that's called Peer Leadership Team.
For some reason, they had lists of every PLT member from every school. Stockton was actually perusing the list. He goes over to the Corner Canyon list, don't ask me why. And all of a sudden, he sees Lauren's name, and right next to her name is a phone number. He takes the number, ends up calling her 4 times in a row, no answer.
Several months went by in my senior year. I was about to leave for my mission. I found myself talking with my Aunt Tammy, and she was asking me if there was anything that I wanted to do before I left on my mission. And I was like, well, there's this girl that I have wanted to meet her for the longest time. I would love to take her on a date.
And my mom Tammy somehow is able to get her number within 15 minutes and sets up the date for Stockton. He was absolutely freaking out.
You would have thought the dude had won the lottery with a trip to Hawaii all in the same dealio.
Pretty much right off the bat, I called her.
Yeah, I remember coming home that night and talking to my parents, telling them that this boy called me, was asking me about my life and my family.
Didn't think I was a creep.
Yeah.
Thought I was an outstanding gentleman.
I really did. I was excited to go on a date.
Everything is riding on this. I'm like, I have one shot.
Now, Stock's a pretty confident guy, as we all know. You know, high school, student body president, all that stuff. You should have seen him on this date, okay? Wobbly knees. I mean, it was a mess.
Stockton came to my dance company concert, and he brought his 2 little twin sisters.
Which was a really good idea.
I see this tall, cute boy with flowers for Lauren. He had his twin sisters there, and I think he brought them just to like kind of impress Lauren and the fam, which I think it worked.
We went on several dates. I was feeling great. This is going super well. We're getting to know each other. But then just kind of out of nowhere, you know, she stops answering my calls. She doesn't text back. Nothing. So a couple weeks after Lauren stopped talking to me, I actually connected with another guy who was going to the Tijuana, Mexico mission, greatest mission in the world, with one of the great guys of the world, Adam Chandler.
So Stockton and I, we went to Salt Lake City Burger. That's when he first brought up Lauren, actually, is like from the get-go. We had gotten in my car, we hadn't even pulled out of the parking lot yet, and he asked me, he's like, "So you went to Corner Canyon, right?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "You must know Lauren Thompson." From Salt Lake City Burger to his house, Lauren Thompson was the whole entire conversation. It was like that for the entire mission. We were never companions, but he would just find little ways to sneak in the name Lauren Thompson.
Fast forward, I've been in Mexico for 2 years. Lauren is now serving a mission. It's 2019. I have not heard anything for over 2 years from Lauren. And I get a friend request on Facebook from Lauren, and I'm thinking, maybe there's a chance. From there, I kind of had a council come together with my buddies.
We're talking about it, and we have this great council debating if it meant something or if it was an accident, weighing the pros and cons of sending her a message or not. We concluded that most likely it was a significant thing. But then we were thrown a curveball afterwards when he sent a message, but she didn't respond.
And I'm like, great, well now we're back to square one with me DMing her, no response. This is flashback to 2015. Now I'm just more embarrassed than devastated.
But for the same reason that like I stopped talking to him before the mission, I had been dating somebody in high school, and then I was writing him throughout my mission. I couldn't really write
Because you're a
Stockton.
loyal person.
Then 2 weeks before I came home, I got an email from the other person that they were dating someone. And so then I felt like I could email Stockton, and I said, hi, update me on your life. I come home in 2 weeks.
Looking back on this email, it was not anything. But at the time, it was everything to me. So 2 weeks before she got home, sent me that, I was stoked.
I did my research and found out that Lauren had ended the relationship that she had with the other guy. Stockton was just pumped out of his mind. I think she was gonna come home from her mission in like 2 weeks. He and I coordinated, he's like, I need an excuse or I need a buddy, someone to go to her homecoming with. And Stockton was late to the homecoming. And I look over and I see Stockton decked out in this tan suit. He had like newly polished shoes. When he sat by me, I could like smell his cologne. He brought his paper scriptures. So Stockton brought his A game 100%. And the talk goes by and I was like, okay, well, should we go talk to her? And Stockton's like, no, dude, like, hold on, we gotta wait a sec. Like, take it easy. You're telling me to take it easy. You brought your paper scriptures and polished your shoes this morning.
And they came up to me afterward. And I just remember thinking Stockton looked so cute. He was very genuine and nice, and I was like, okay, maybe I do want to go on another date with him.
She ended up reaching out to me. I remember saying like, hey, thanks so much. Like, when are we gonna do something? And almost immediately Lauren responded and was like, hey, I'm free tomorrow night.
I
was
said
like,
tomorrow
okay.
or Saturday.
And Stockton was very excited to tell us that Lauren had finally DM'd him.
We just all start going crazy. Like, this has been in the making for 5 years.
After the mission, it felt super different. I wanted to spend time with him every day, and we just had the same things that were important to us and had so much fun together, and he treated me perfectly. It was just really different, and I think it's all in God's timing for sure.
Pretty much from there on, we just kept growing closer and closer.
I just remember he was just like, I just like don't want to date other people, and I like haven't dated anyone since January, and I was just kind of taken back.
Lauren, it took her a little bit longer to catch up to Stockton, I think. And she needed a little bit more time to figure it out. Stockton went on some California trip.
That trip changed things.
Yeah. I think when Stockton left, Lauren was able to have some space and figured some things out. When he came home, she was just as obsessed as he was all of a sudden.
Once I knew that I wanted to marry him, I feel like we switched roles. I was like, okay, well, when are we going ring shopping? It's been really good since we made the decision.
So to wrap it up, the story is an awesome one. It's crazy how many twists and turns it had. At the beginning, honestly, the cool part of it was that I got to be with this girl that I had envisioned being with. Once I got to know Lauren, that was the best part of the story. She was so much more incredible than I could have ever imagined, and I just knew that that was the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with.
All right, my favorite thing about Stockton is that he wishes he was Jerry Seinfeld.
I went to Hillcrest. I was kind of a new kid. He was one of my first friends. That's just his personality. He's a very helpful and including person.
It's got to be his laugh. I think if you hear him laughing, you automatically have to laugh.
I could cry about this. Stockton was an amazing missionary. I mean, he just had this way of reaching out to the individual that he was teaching or just making people feel loved. He was a hard worker.
Stockton is one of the most impressive people I have ever met. The way he cares about everyone in our family, he cares so much about everyone he's talking to, and he gives you so much attention. He's very good at making everyone feel so listened to.
I think his greatest ability is making everyone feel loved and heard. It's pretty cool to watch.
Stockton is one of the most loyal people I have ever met. Anything I ever needed, I know I could go to Stockton. I could just show up at his house randomly. I could wake him up at 3 a.m. and he'd be there ready to help.
Anyone who knows Lauren knows that she is the most Christ-like and charitable person. She really, really values the relationships in her life. She is so loyal.
I've known Lauren for a while, and the reputation that she always had in high school was just of being a really, really good girl. Someone that pretty and talented, and I think a lot of people looked up to her because she was able to also be a really, really good girl that you could just she had a testimony.
Everything she does is to serve and love other people. She's such a spiritual giant. I've always looked up to her.
Christ-like and powerful and confident in her testimony and her life and what she's doing. I love that about her.
I don't know Lauren super well because Stockton likes to keep me away. In the past, we tend to go after the same girls. Stockton, usually takes them out and then I go in for the kill.
So I remember we were sitting in Stockton's apartment at Glenwood. He was talking about the first time that he ever saw Lauren. He told me in the story, he was like, I saw the picture on her Instagram and I was speechless. I had never seen a more beautiful girl in my whole life. I was kind of tearing up because just the way that he talked about her, I was like, every best friend wants their friend to have someone who treats them like that.
Okay, I think Lauren and Stockton are perfect for each other because Stockton's loud and Lauren's quiet. Stockton's tall, Lauren's short. She has muscles, he doesn't.
Just add it in after
I
she's
really
done.
tried my hardest
No,
to
that
be
was-
serious. A kiss a day keeps the doctor away. I've always wanted to give marriage advice to Stockton. I never thought you'd get to this day, Stockton, but we're so proud of you.
I really just think that they are a power couple, and as cliche as that sounds, I know that they will do a lot of good together. Doesn't take a long conversation with either of them to be able to tell what they stand for, kind of thing.
Lauren and Stockton together are going to be able to withstand all of the hard things in life. They're not scared of anything.
We are so ready to be married.
Start right now.
I love you.